your breath as you lay here. Just notice how you're feeling this morning. I know for me, when it starts to get hot like this, I can often feel a little more drained. So maybe you're feeling that even this morning. And then just take a couple more breaths here. Then just reach your arms up by your ears, give yourself a stretch. And then hug the knees towards the chest. Take a little bit of movement with the knees hugged in. And then keep the knees bent. Just drop the feet down to the mat. Take the arms down by the sides. Just take your right arm by your ear. Let it fall to the mat and relax. And turn your head over to the left, so away from that arm. And then bring the head back to center. Take that right arm back down by the side, and then take your left arm by the ear and turn the head over to the right. And then turn the head back to center. Just bring the left arm back down by the side. And then just extend your legs straight onto the mat. So you're just laying flat on your back. And take both arms up by the ears this time. Let them relax to the floor. And walk the hands and the feet to the right long edge of the mat. So you're making a banana shape here. You can stack your left ankle on top of your right ankle. And maybe you take your right hand and reach for your left wrist. And then just unwind that. Take hands and feet over to the left. Maybe stacking right ankle on left ankle. Maybe taking left hand, reaching for the right wrist. And then unwind that, just bring the hands and the feet to center. Let's hug the knees back in towards the chest. And then keep the knees bent, drop the feet to the mat. And cross your right ankle over the left thigh, setting up for thread the needle. And if you'd like, hug that left thigh towards the chest. then just unwind that, change size, take the left ankle over the right thigh, hug the right thigh in. And then just unwind the legs, hug the knees back in towards the chest. And rock yourself all the way upright so you can come to a seated position. And then take your legs out straight and wide so you're in a straddle here. And then just switch your torso over to the right. So right hand behind you, left hand can go to the thigh or maybe in front of the leg, just resting on the mat. Then you can stay upright here with the torso. If you want, you can just start to lean a little forward, closer to that right leg, and scoot your hands forward a little bit. And then just come back upright, spin through center, twist over to the left, just staying upright to start. And then if you'd like, just leaning that torso forward towards the leg. And then just come back up through center. You can bring your legs together into just a cross-legged position here. And then take your right arm up by your ear. Bend that right arm and then take your left hand to your right elbow. And then just take the opposite side. And then just unwind the arms, bring them down by the sides. Take some shoulder rolls up and back. And then opposite direction. And then just make your way up into tabletop. And you have a little bit of time here just to move in any way that feels good. Maybe it's cat-cow or some movement of the hips, coming to child's pose. And then take one more cycle of breath. After your exhale, just meet back in neutral and tabletop. And then just extend your right leg back with the ball of the foot resting on the mat. And just gently press that right heel back. And then just return your right leg to tabletop. Take the left leg back with the ball of the foot down. Just gently press the heel back. And then return that leg back to tabletop. Bring your big toes together. Sit back into child's pose. And then come back up to tabletop. Take your right leg up and back behind you. Spin the toes to the right and then take the leg all the way to the right so you can lower your right foot down in line with the hip. Yeah. And then you decide, you can stay on the palms of the hands here. If you want, you can drop down to the forearms. And then if you're on forearms, come back to the palms of the hands. Just take that leg up and back behind you again. And then lower that leg to tabletop. We'll change sides, take the left leg up and back. Spin the toes to the left and then take that leg over to the left and lower that foot down. Again, maybe you stay right where you are, maybe you come down to the forearms. And then come back to the palms of the hands. Take that leg up and back behind you. And then just lower it back to tabletop. Sit back into child's pose. Just a couple more breaths there. And then make your way up through tabletop, tuck your toes, lift your hips. First down dog, just take some time to move around in this down dog. And then just come forward into plank. Drop your knees to the mat, slow lower all the way to the belly. And then take a really gentle cobra, lift the head and the shoulders. And then lower all the way back down. We'll do 2 more cobras, so lift the head and the shoulders again. And lower back down. And lift up. And lower. And then just press through tabletop into downward facing dog. And walk your feet forward to your hands. Come to a forward fold at the front of your mat. And just holding here for several breaths. So you can reach hands for opposite elbows and take ragdoll and sway if you'd like. And then release your hands down to the mat. Take an inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, right foot back for a lunge, right knee down to the mat. Inhale, arms up by the ears. Exhale, hands frame the foot, step to down dog. Take an inhale there. And an exhale. Inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, straighten the legs, square off the hip. Exhale, bring the foot between the hands, drop the back knee down. Inhale, arms up by the ears. Exhale, hands frame the foot, bring your back foot forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, left foot back for a lunge. Left knee down to the mat. Inhale, arms up by the ears. Exhale, hands frame the foot, downward facing dog. Take an inhale there. And an exhale. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, straighten the legs, square off the hip. Exhale, foot between the hands, back knee down. Inhale, arms up by the ears. Exhale, hands frame the foot, back foot forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, sit back for chair. Exhale, just hold it here. One more inhale. Exhale, fold forward, straighten your legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, right foot back for a lunge, stay on the ball of the foot. Inhale for crescent, reach your arms by your ears. Exhale, hands frame the foot, step to down dog. Take an inhale there. And an exhale. Inhale your right leg up and back. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, straighten the legs, square off the hip. Exhale, bring the right knee to the left elbow and extend the leg out. You're on the pinky toe edge of your right foot. Hold there for an inhale. And an exhale. And then inhale your right leg up and back. Exhale the foot between the hands. Inhale for crescent, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands frame the foot, back foot forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sit back for chair. Exhale, straighten the legs, hands to the heart. Inhale for chair again. Hold for the exhale. Hold one more inhale. Exhale, fold forward, straighten your legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, left foot back for a lunge. Inhale for crescent, arms reach up. Exhale, hands frame the foot, downward facing dog. Take an inhale there. And an exhale. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, straighten the legs, square off the hip. Exhale, left knee, right elbow, extend that leg out to the side. Take an inhale there. And an exhale. Inhale, take that left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, foot between the hands. Inhale, crescent, arms come up. Exhale, hands frame the foot, bring your back foot forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sit back for chair. Exhale, come to standing, straighten your legs, hands to your heart. Take an inhale through the nose here. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog. I think I might have lost you. We're in down dog if I lost you. And then take your right leg up and back. Bring the foot between the hands for a lunge. And then just lengthen your chest forward as you twist your torso to the right, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. And then bring your right hand to the mat. Just step straight back to downward facing dog. And then take the left leg up and back. Bring the foot between the hands. Lengthen the chest forward as you twist the torso to the left. Reach your left arm up. And then bring that left hand down to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. You can hold this down dog or inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale, lower to your belly. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then take your right leg up and back. Bring the foot between the hands. Come up into crescent this time, arms up by the ears. And then bring the hands down to the heart as you lengthen your chest forward. And take a twist over to the right, upper left arm, outer right thigh. And then come back to crescent, reach both arms up by the ears. Bring the hands down to frame your front foot and straighten your right leg for modified pyramid. And then rebend your right knee. Take a twist to the right again, reach your right arm up. You can stay right there if you want. You're gonna keep rotating so you can spin onto the pinky toe edges of the both feet. Toes will be spinning to the right long edge of your mat. Hips will lower and your right arm reaches back. And then just spin back to a lunge. Bring your right hand to the mat and step yourselves back to downward facing dog. And then take your left leg up and back. Bring the foot between the hands, come up into crescent, reach your arms up by your ears. And then bring your hands down to your heart, start to lengthen your chest forward, twist to the left, upper right arm to outer left side. And then come back up to crescent, reach the arms up by the ears. Take the hands down to frame the front foot and straighten your left leg, modified pyramid. And then rebend your front leg, twist the torso to the left, reach your left arm up. And then you can stay there or spin onto the pinky toe edges of the feet, lower the hips down, reach your left arm back. And then come back into a lunge, bring your left hand to the mat, step back to downward facing dog. You can hold your down dog or inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale, lower to your belly. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then take your right leg up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. This time you can circle the ankle or the knee around a little bit. And then straighten the legs square off the hip. Bring the right knee to the left elbow again and extend that leg to the side. You're on the outer edge of your right foot. If it feels okay, you can start to lower the hips down towards the mat here. And then come back a three-legged dog, right leg up and back. Bring the foot between the hands, spin the back heel down this time, come up into warrior two, arms to a T. And then straighten your front leg, reach forward, hinge into triangle pose. And then come back up to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down. Just go straight to downward facing dog. And then take your left leg up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip, take a little bit of movement. And then straighten the legs, square off the hip. Bring the left knee to the right elbow. Extend that leg out from the pinky toe edge of your left foot. And maybe you start to sink the hips towards the mat. And then come back up, three-legged dog, left leg up and back. Bring the foot between the hands, spin the back heel down, warrior two. And then straighten your front leg, reach forward, hinge into triangle pose. And then come back up to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down to frame your front foot. Step back to down dog. And then once you're in down dog, just walk your hands and your feet towards each other, forward fold at the center of your mat. And then just walk your feet wider than your hips. Spin your heels in and your toes out, and then bend your knees, take your hips to your heels, come into Malasana squat. And if you'd like, that right hand can come down to the floor, left arm up so your arms are in this diagonal. And then maybe you take your left arm and just drape it behind your back. You can take the gaze up. And then unwind that, just come through center, hands to the heart. Left hand down to the mat, right arm up. And then maybe take that right arm, drape it behind the back. And then just come back to center, hands to the heart. Take your hands to the mat, straighten your legs, lift your hips, walk your feet hips distance and parallel. And then just come into downward facing dog. Walk your hands forward, feet back. And then from there, come forward into plank. Lower yourself all the way down to your belly and roll yourself onto your right side. I'm not gonna look like I'm mirroring you, but we're gonna be on our right side. You can use your right hand as a pillow here with your legs extended out straight. And then from there, hug your left knee in towards your armpit and take your left peace sign fingers to your big toe. And then maybe you start to straighten that left leg any amount. And then slowly just release that leg so your left leg stacks on your right leg. Make your way to your left side. You can roll onto your belly or your back, whatever feels best. And then coming to the left side, supporting the head and the hand again, letting the legs extend out straight. And then hug your right knee towards your right armpit. Peace sign fingers of the right hand to the right big toe, and then maybe you extend that leg. And then lower that leg back down so the right leg stacks on the left leg. Just roll onto your belly. You might have to scoot yourself to the center of your mat. Take your hands by the sides of the rib cage. Press yourself through tabletop to downward facing dog. And let's walk hands and feet towards each other, forward fold at the center of your mat. Take an inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. And then hug your right knee in towards your chest. Just take your hands around the shin there so you can support the leg. Keep your left hand where it is. Take your right arm up by your ear. And then twist the torso to the right as you take your right arm behind you, so your right arm's in a T. And then just come to center, reach both arms by the ears. Lower the foot down, lower the arms down, give yourself a little shake. And we'll take the left side, so hug the left knee in, support the leg with the hands. And then keep the right hand where it is, take your left arm by your ear. Now take your time as you twist to the left, reach your left arm back. And then spin back through center, both arms by the ears. And then lower the foot down, lower the arms down, give yourself a shake. And then if you have blocks, you may want to reach for them and bring them to the front edge of your mat. So you can bring them to the tallest setting, about shoulders distance apart here. And then we'll just come into mountain pose once the blocks are set. And just take your arms out and up, reach them towards the ceiling. And then hinge from your hips, fold forward, and bring your hands to the blocks. So you may have to adjust your feet here. I'm gonna try and make my torso roughly parallel to the mat and have like a 90-degree-ish angle at the hips. Take a little bend in your left knee. Lengthen your chest forward. And then take a twist to the right. Reach your right arm up. Or maybe that right hand comes to the hip. And then just unwind that, bring your right hand to the block, re-straighten the left leg. Take a little bend in your right knee, and twist to the left, reach your left arm up. And then unwind, bring your left hand to the block, re-straighten your right leg. You can take your blocks to the side. Just come to a standing forward fold here. Let your hands rest on the mat. And then step your feet back, downward facing dog. And then come forward into plank again. Lower all the way down to your belly. And then roll yourself off to your right side. So coming into that position again where you're resting your head and your right hand and your legs are straight. You can just rest your left hand on the mat. And then take your top leg and bend it and take that left foot to the mat in front of your right leg. So the knees pointing up, yeah. And then this is a little awkward, but just press into your left hand so you can bring your torso more upright. Your hands are gonna come under your shoulders to support the torso. Yep. And then from there, and this is hard to do on the screen, you're gonna walk your hands forward so your torso comes towards the mat. And then take your left hand, reach for your right big toe. So you're reaching with that left arm towards your straight leg foot. Yeah. And then just take a couple breaths there. And if you're feeling a little sassy, bring that right hand under your shoulder. See if you can press into that right hand and lift your hips off the mat. Oh, it's not happening for me today on this side. Good. And then release all of that. Just roll onto your back so you can come onto your other side. So you can rest the head in the left hand, stack the legs to start. And then bend your top leg, bring the sole of the foot out in front of that bottom leg, yeah. And then use your hands to lift the torso. So hands will be under the shoulders here, yeah. And then you can walk the hands forward a little bit so the shoulders come forward. And then take your right hand, reach for your left big toe. Just take a couple breaths. And then maybe you try pressing into the left hand, trying to lift the hips. I find the more I lean forward with my shoulders, the easier it is to lift the hips up. I know, it's weird. I came up with this pose. And then just unwind all of that. Make your way up into tabletop. And once you get to tabletop, take some cat-cow at your own pace. And then after your next exhale, come back into child's pose and just settle there after that sort of crazy twisted pose that we just did. And then make your way up through tabletop, just so you can come back to a comfortable cross-leg position. And just once you're there, sit up nice and tall. Hands can rest on the knees or the center of the lap. Maybe you close your eyes and just take some breaths here, just feeling the spine in this neutral shape. And then just walk your hands behind you. You can pop onto the fingertips and spin the palms of the hands towards you. And if you want, you can gently press into the fingertips, lift the center of the chest, draw the shoulder blades towards each other for a really gentle back bend, and take the gaze up. And then just come back upright. You can unwind your legs so you can take them out in front of you. You may have to scoot forward so you have space to roll back. And then just come all the way onto your back. You may want to bring a block with you if you have one nearby. So we'll take one round of just regular bridge. So once you're back, press into the feet, lift the hips, come into bridge. And then drop the hips back down to the mat. And then reach for your block. This time coming into supported bridge. So press into the feet, lift the hips, take that block underneath the pelvis. And then if it feels good for you, you could extend both legs straight out so the backs of your heels are resting on the mat. And then if your legs are straight, just re-bend your knees so the feet are flat. And then press into the feet, lift the hips, remove your block, and gently just lower the hips back to the mat. pause there. And then just walk your feet a little wider than your hips, keeping your knees bent. Take your arms to a T, and then just windshield wiper the knees side to side. And next time the knees are through center, just pause there and let the knees knock into each other, just keeping the feet wide. And just hug your knees in towards your chest. If you'd like, you could come into happy baby. And then if you're in happy baby, hug your knees back and give yourself a squeeze. And then release your legs, come into Shavasana. And start to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Circle your ankles and wrists. Reach your arms by your ears, nice big stretch. And roll off to one side, pause there, eyes closed. The success of yoga does not lie in the ability to perform postures, but in how it positively changes the way we live our life and our relationships. Press into your top hand, make your way up to a comfortable seat, eyes closed, hands at the heart. Thank you for joining me this morning. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. All right, you guys.